Well, here we go then. A review of Dr.No from 1962. This was the first James Bond film that was ever released, and it is the 60th anniversary of this film, which is quite exciting for Bond fans. This film, of course, stars Sean Connery. He was 32 years old when he starred in this film, born in 1930. Sadly passed away on last year on the 31st of October 2020. So the film starts off with those three blind mice guys, and we get a good opening scene of the classic Dr.No, and we have to find out who this mysterious character is. It then opens our shot into London and into a classic casino scene, and right away we get that classic Bond line of "My name is Bond, James Bond," and we get introduced to the character. Like I said, that is Sean Connery, 32 years old at the time of recording in 1962. And that Bond girl is played is Silver Trench, and she's played by Inez Gason. I have not any clue if I pronounced that right, but I'm not very good at pronouncing names, so you have to bear with it throughout this whole 25-part video franchise. Miss Moneypenny was actually a Canadian actress called Louise Maxwell. That's quite an easy name to get right. At first it's considered that Moneypenny is simply her code name. However, we later learn in the Craig series that that's actually her surname they're referring to in the film. Just to add a bit of trivia in there. All of these films are of course judged by the Ian Fleming books. And we also just get our opening scene of M there, played by Bernard Lee, who is a British actor. Q, our typical Q isn't present in this film. It's played by Peter Burton. Not sure why they got Peter Burton to play Q. I mean, a typical Q actor was definitely present at this time of recording, so that choice was very unpopular amongst fans. That doesn't really matter. Cutting ahead into the film, we get our first appearance of Felix Leiter. Now, Felix Leiter is also played by a different character, and this first appearance was played by Jack Lord. I think he did a pretty good job of playing Felix. Bit of an interesting opening, not quite sure we had to have the whole series of everyone trying to kill him, but nevertheless, that's okay. While this is film set in Jamaica, I suppose it would be quite typical for Jamaicans in 1960 to try and get rid of all British evidence, because in 1961 they gained their independence. Anyway, not quite sure I mentioned that. This girl was taking photographs sent back to Dr.No. Not much is to be said about her. She doesn't really appear back again. She's not entirely relevant. A good bit of use of fake blood there. Yeah, it was quite vile for any PG certificate film to have any form of blood in the 1960s. So I'm sure if you've got Zulu from 1964, you'll see that that's many bullet shots and nothing actually happens. Again, a bit of trivia. Ernest Starvor, played by Anthony Dawson, has got the task of course, the classic scene of the spider through the bed sheets. We have, of course, again cut forward slightly forward in the film. I'll show you the whole film because well, I get copyrighted and that'll take forever. But we now see him with his gun in that little holster case. And we'll now see the spider crawl up his leg. I think that was actually a real spider used in the film, but of course it's not actually deadly because in real life tarantulas can't actually do anything to you, they're just quite incredibly scary. Of course there's no use of CGI in 1962. The music plays in well in this scene. You can't hear the music on here obviously because I'm not allowed to do that, but yeah, it's really good use of music, which we never actually ever see again in the Bond franchise. But again, like I said, 1962, that stuff would be quite typical. But yeah, I'm not quite sure why they did it. With the failed attempt on Bond's life, this woman now realises that if she doesn't get him dead, well, she'll be dead by Dr.No. Which is the same thing happens to Anthony Dawson. However, well, we'll see in a minute that James Bond does the job of killing him. We get our first car chase of the whole Bond franchise. Not the best one, I mean, quite clearly see the green screen behind there and the classic fake steering wheel turning. But no, it's not bad actually, it's quite good. That's definitely a real shot there, with the stunt doubles also quite visible. Another visual using green screen there. But no, the car does roll down the hill, and it does make a nice, good, classic explosion at the bottom, which is always a good thing to see, as you can see now. And we also get our first death pun. There are 196 death puns in the whole James Bond franchise. Again, a bit of trivia. Heading towards more of the climax of the film now, again jumping ahead into the scene, and as James Bond awaits on Dr.No's beach, we of course have our very first Bond girl, Honey Rider, played by, again, I'm sorry for pronunciation, Slula Andress. I don't think that was a bad use of pronunciation. She was 26 years old at the time of recording, so pretty young to be a Bond girl. But then again, James Bond was only 32, so that definitely is acceptable. Of course, we do realise that she is also not supposed to be on the island. However, it does kind of make you think if she did just leave them alone, she would be fine. Again, this is the final jump cut. I'll let the film just play through from now on. This is of course the climax. James Bond now goes through the air vent, the typical air vent, and again his stunt double quite visibly seen there. And with his battery closed, we now head to the climax of the film. He is dressed up like a scientist, the same sort of scientist you will see in Jetpack Joyride, and he must now defuse the whole hot water nuclear reactor and stop Dr.No. As climaxes go for Bond films, this definitely isn't one of the best ones, but I mean for the first one I think we can rule it out. All hell breaks loose after he turns to that cannon, and him and Dr.No must have a classic fight. He quite easily wins the fight because Dr.No with his metal hands aren't actually at all that grippy when you're about to get melted by steaming hot water. So when all is said and done, somehow this makes the entire, well, Dr.No's little island start exploding, because why not, quite frankly. I mean, it wouldn't be very interesting if, well, nothing happened after it was said at the end, so you know, it makes the film more interesting. As they run and try to escape, they also defeat some more baddies. And we get a good explosion shot there, which is a good use of special effects, especially with the 1960s. And as we get our closing scene, as the British Navy rescue James Bond, we then get our final scene of Dr.No from 1962. I'll see you for the rest of this series, and as always, thanks for watching, goodbye.